Guys, we have an amazing video for you today.
Yep.
I've been seeing this guy all over YouTube. You've probably seen him too. Hailing from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love, the Redpill therapist by the name of Jeff St. James, aka the Ask a Brother podcast. His link is going to be in the description. Be sure to head over there, leave a comment on his videos and tell him I sent you. Also, go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. What I need you to do before we get into it, hit that like and subscribe to the channel because it helps the algorithm and it helps the channel grow.
Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
We have to stop playing like women are not these soft feminine beings. I'm just not like that with you because I don't know you.
Oh, shut up, woman.
And I don't have to know you. You don't have to know me. And I don't owe you my femininity.
What did you say?
And I don't owe you my femininity.
And you don't owe me protection. It'd be nice, but it's not realistic to require that from men. Just like it's not realistic to require femininity from women.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If in fact you want femininity from that woman, then you need to be a man that demands it. And not through words, but just by your integrity and your character. That is how we save these relationships. If you are the man, you are going to command and demand it. From that woman. Because I'm going to tell you, y'all hear me saying all this rah-rah stuff and all of this, you know what I'm saying, independent stuff. But I can guarantee you when a man comes and he commands that softness and that femininity, oh, I'm a little quiet, little church mouse, little girl. And I'm going to cower down and I am going to be like, yep, you are the man. And I think that we need to think about those things. Women are not walking around here smiling at you, asking you, can we fix you a plate? I don't know you. So that's unrealistic to demand of women, just some man off the street.
This right here is why so many women are single.
He ain't lying.
You're already telling a man what you're not going to do. You're already telling a man it's unrealistic to ask for this, or it's unrealistic to ask for that. Let the shoe be on the other foot.
Oh, shit.
Is it unrealistic for a man to provide for you, to protect you, to love you? You should be a feminine woman before a man does any of that. Women would riot. Women are so quick to tell you as a man what they're not going to do. Instead of telling men, baby, let me do this. Let me serve you. Let me build with you. Let me be the woman that you need. Let me be your peace.
I did a pretty lengthy interview with those ladies. The first thing I'll say is I think it's very interesting and ironic that the irony of two white women from Canada were far more interested in what a black man had to say about masculinity and what's happening with men than many of the women within our own community.
Fact.
One of the things and reasons for why they actually selected me in the first place is because there is a probably a noticeable gap between most people who don't do what I do for a living in terms of skill, knowledge, experience, and expertise. My graduate thesis was actually on men. So a lot of times when these type of social media related conversations kind of pop up and people just give their short opinions on 15 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute clips. That was a very, very extended conversation, which had a lot more than just that clip. But for what I do, what I'm responsible for and how I give back and how I actually strive to fix some of these very issues that we're going to be talking about. It's kind of the equivalent of like a child on Christmas getting a drum set and they're banging away a 5-year-old. And mom and dad is like complimenting them and saying how great of a drummer they are. And then the kid walks outside and basically says they're as good as Beethoven. No, there's levels to this discussion. There's surface level ways of how we can approach it, which unfortunately appears to be what seems to be going what's most viral. And then there's more in-depth, nuanced ways of kind of how to approach it. So in terms of how, I'll start with the beginning on my end, what my target audience is. And this is why I don't react or get as reactive as maybe people would like me to be. My target audience is actually people who are intellectually curious.
I just want to stop right there. A lot of people in this world are not intellectually curious.
He ain't lying.
We all come from different backgrounds. Some of us were raised on love, others were raised on hate. But it's important to understand both sides of the coin.
Exactly.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. I try to get you, the viewer, to understand that there's two sides to every coin. So when we say things like the man needs to be held accountable, why don't the man do this? Why doesn't the man do that? You have to be intellectually curious and understand that two people can be right at the same time.
Especially about perspectives that they don't have or may not have known about. That's actually my target audience. My target audience isn't people who are intentionally obtuse. My target audience isn't people who aren't interested in learning. My target audience is not people who don't want to know certain things. My belief system in these type of discussions and just in how I carry myself, believe it or not, is that I actually try to promote and tell men, because the topic actually was about men and masculinity, to believe all women. I think we should believe all women when they tell you where they stand and where you stand. I think we need to believe all women when they tell us that their femininity is conditional. I think we need to believe them when they say that they will or won't care about certain things that pertain to you and that could directly affect you. And I really, really do believe that when they are showing that when something is brought up, that they have a special ability to flip it back on to how some way and somehow they have it worse. You really need to kind of believe them. Like Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
I agree. We should believe all women. If a woman says that she's not going to cook, believe her. If a woman says she's not going to submit, believe her. If a woman says that you have to be a certain way in order for you to get what you want or need, believe her. Because the easiest thing to do is when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. That goes for both men and women alike.
So, in terms of how I typically approach these conversations, my goal for the listeners, men and women, feminists or not, is really to introduce potentially new concepts, or at least concepts not only that people haven't heard of, but B, if they have heard of it, okay, well, what do we do about it? A lot of men will joke around and they'll say, what? Women don't accept accountability. They always shirking from it. They running, they bringing up other issues, right? I said in a previous podcast, what if the issue is not that women don't seek or accept accountability? What if their relationship with accountability is just a little bit different than ours? So for men, how are we held accountable when we do something wrong? When we're told or informed that we did something wrong, we're just like, oh, okay, I did something wrong in terms of my actions or my behavior. and I'm not going to do it again. Therefore, I'm going to hold myself accountable. Women don't have that same linear, straightforward approach. When I say to you, or when I say to Ty or Jasmine, you did this, their initial response is not based on the fact of what I'm pointing out that they did wrong. Their initial response is the feeling that it's not that I'm saying that you did something wrong. They're interpreting and reacting to it as if I said something's wrong with them. Men that understand that will have a much better understanding of being calmer with women, especially when he first brings something up to his girlfriend, his wife, his female friend. He knows that there's the strong potential that when I point something out to you that you did wrong, her initial reaction and response is not going to be, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It's usually, it doesn't go like that. Initially, she's like, what's wrong with me? And you'll hear when it's like, so now I'm not a good wife. Now I'm not a good girlfriend. Now I'm talking about the act, and you're making it about your identity. You weren't socialized to do that. No one taught you how to do that. My role and job, both as a clinician and now entering into this podcast space, is actually to have those types of conversations, to get us to understand each other's differences, what each other's going through, how we see and internalize things that could be different. And I'm not trying to socialize it out of us. If men just act like women, we'll all be fine. If women act like men, we'll all be fine. No, I said we have unique differences. We got to figure out how to get back to integrating with them. And part of that discussion was literally that.
See, I'm going to say this, and I don't care how much backlash I get for it. Women cannot handle the truth because women will make every excuse in the book about why you're wrong. They'll say it's your tone. They'll say it's your delivery. It's your approach. You're being too mean. You're being too straightforward. You're being too callous. You're being too direct. No, it ain't that. It's because you can't handle the truth.
He ain't lying.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the sooner people can understand that, the better life will be.
For all women. And I'll say this specifically to Black women as, yes, you're right. You probably had experiences where there were some men that were turned off because you had a certain type of job. A lot of men, I can't speak for your personal experience, but a lot of men are not actually turned off by the job or even the type of job. They're turned off by the traits that are often associated with those women. The behavioral traits. The behavioral traits that sometimes comes with women that has very demanding schedules, demanding jobs, demanding fields, is that they're highly disagreeable, that they are a little rough around the edges. Fact. They assume because I look good that I'm still feminine. Because I get my nails done, I'm still feminine. Because my hair and I got my makeup on, I still let a man lead. Well, I always look at it through the lens, does your outcomes reflect the thing that you're saying that you're doing? So an example of what I'm basically saying is when I talk to women who are struggling in the dating market and they're saying, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But I'm saying, but if all the men, your outcomes would typically be different. If I'll say it this way, because you kind of mentioned something in terms of you want to be perceived a certain way from men, right? You want them to still see you as soft, as still feminine, or yeah, in essence, right? And that you don't want what you do to impact how people see you. If we flip it, and this is where I think both sexes can get a better understanding of this stuff. When you all question what it is about men being turned on and turned off about stuff, what's your icks? What's your things that makes it known? I can't do this guy. I absolutely can't take him seriously. I'm not going to return his phone call. That's not my type. Whatever that list of things is that attracts you or turns you away, we have our own version of that. And again, no one has to teach us that. Who do you think has more prerequisites or standards in order for them to be satisfied and interested in order to date the opposite sex? Who got the higher? Who has the much longer list of expectations that the opposite sex has to meet in terms of requirements.
Okay, if we're talking about in society,
Damn.
then I guess it has to be women.
You
Okay.
guess.
So of the
say
few
something
things,
real
so
fast.
hold on, just 1 second, 1 second. So just to clarify, there's actually very few things that men are actually looking for and to satisfy. And I think our standards have had to go down every decade in order for us to be able to still find a suitable partner.
I'm glad he said that because a lot of women and a lot of men fall into the same category. If you're doing all of these things, then your outcomes would be different. If you're cleaning, if you're cooking, if you're making a man feel safe, if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a woman, your outcome would be different. And a lot of people think being feminine is what's on the outside. I wear a nice dress. I have my hair and nails done. I have my feet done. I wear makeup. That doesn't make you feminine. Being feminine is what's on the inside. What's on the inside? Or are you a humble woman? Or are you a woman that isn't arrogant or mean? That's what a feminine woman by nature is. Everybody has a standard. Everybody has an ideal partner. But you can say that you want a man that makes $100K a year. That does not guarantee you're going to get it. Same thing with a man. You can say that you want a younger woman, a woman that's feminine, a woman this. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get it. We all have dating standards and what we want in a mate. We all say, I want this, I want that, I want to be here, I want to be there. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. Are you what you want in an individual? Because the sad reality is yes, there are unrealistic expectations. However, on the flip side, a lot of people don't have expectations at all. So we also have to weigh the pros and cons of dating this person, being with this person, and if they aren't lining up to what we expect out of a partner, instead of changing them, we need to just let them be. You cannot force anybody to be anything that you want them to be. The best thing that you can do as a woman or a man is if somebody is not meeting your standards, let them go. Let them be. Go out there and find someone else who stands up to the way you live. Anyway, that's been it for today's video. Do not forget to hit up Ask a Brother Podcast. His link is in the description. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.